Thank you very much for watching this video. Before we begin, I wanted to include a disclaimer, as I include in my about section as well as in the description of this video. All of my readings are for entertainment purposes only. They are never, ever meant to diagnose, treat, or otherwise have any influence upon your own medical issues or situations that you may have. I always encourage everyone to make their own sound decisions, including legal matters, financial matters, and every other matter in your own life. These are for entertainment purposes only. As these are general tea leaf readings, again, it makes sense, therefore, that some of this information will resonate with you and some of it may not. You may find that some applies and some doesn't. That is completely normal and to be expected, as these are general tea leaf readings. So again, take what you will and leave what you don't, and simply enjoy your reading and hope that you find it informative and insightful. Thank you. Thank you so much once again for joining me this week. This is a general tea leaf reading for the week of August the 29th, 2022. So let's look at the tea leaves and see what the universe would like us to know this week. When you look inside the cup, you can see that there are 3 distinct areas, events or situations, which are happening this week. You can see that here, as well as here, which is connected to this one main event or situation, as well as this event or situation here. Let's start by looking at this main event or situation. It will likely start occurring, I would say, late in the day on Monday into Monday evening, possibly on Tuesday. And also, based on what I'm seeing, this is going to be an incredibly busy week. So you may want to take some extra self-care this week. Pace yourself, maybe take some nice sea salt baths, whatever self-care practices you do to make yourself feel better and maybe to ground, essentially as a way to make yourself feel good and to preserve your energy, because like I've just mentioned, this is quite a busy cup. Now, we will have enough time to focus on everything that we do need to focus on. However, our focus is going to diverge in a few different directions, I would say, or could very well easily do so. So I'm just saying that as a side note. If you watched last week's general tea leaf reading, you will see that the main event or situation in that reading had 3 parts to it. This is very similar, where you have, as you can see, I'll point it out here, one main area, the center, which is fairly well formed, as well as 2 separate events or situations, 2 separate parts rather. See here as well as here. They are slightly less well formed. So this is an observation again to say that, very similar to last week, this one event or situation that is occurring does have 3 parts to it. One is the main part or the focus of it. However, they are all very closely linked. Please note though, however, that this main event or situation is going to be fairly short term. The same is also true for this small event or situation. This one is definitely connected to the main event or situation, which is taking place this week. As we continue looking into the cup as an overview right before the weekend, I will say that all of these events or situations really are fairly significant in and of themselves because of how well formed they are, even the ones that are short term. So in other words, this week looks to be monumental. Believe it or not, this may involve California, and I say that because there's actually a map of California right here. There are 2 tea leaves which look just like California, one specifically. So there may be 1 or 2 connections with the scenario and California. As a side note, that scenario involves victory, as you can see, because there is an individual here holding up almost like a trophy. There is another situation or scenario here. This involves communication between ourselves and someone else, harmoniousness, partnerships, and financial abundance. Maybe a little romance as well. I keep seeing happy faces throughout this entire event or situation. For example, here's a very large one. An eye, and a mouth. Also, there's another eye here, as well as a mouth. There's like 2 happy faces in one. Yes, there may be some momentary hiccups, momentary disruptions, or setbacks. However, overall, we are very pleased with the situation. Certainly heading into the weekend, maybe like Wednesday to Friday. Let's begin by looking at this event or situation here, because it is related to the main event or situation that we just looked at. There may be an aspect of housing, properties that are involved. There is stability. There is protection. There may also be another Cancerian connection. Again, there may be a temporary setback somewhere that we just don't feel very good about, we're not very happy about, whatever may be taking place, but again, this is very short term. So I would say that whatever that scenario is, I would not worry too much about it. It's just sort of like is just referencing it so that we are aware that it is a very much short-term scenario where we may feel not too happy about it, but it actually results in really good things. And I'm not saying that to make you worry by any means. We all have free will. First individual to say that, like, we all have free will. And again, this is a take it as you will scenario because this is a general tea leaf reading. I'm just looking at things very generally. Again, as I mentioned in my disclaimer and in the about section and in my introductory video, please take what you will and leave what you don't. Conclusions, finalizations, new opportunities, new thoughts, discussions, new beginnings. There may be an Aries connection, someone who may be Aries. You also may be feeling a little more heart-centered about the scenario. There really is a sense of a new beginning, something new that is beginning to take form, take shape. This may be related to some form of wisdom, knowledge, learning, anything book related essentially. Whether that's you beginning to write a book, reading a book, taking a course, teaching a course, something along those lines. It's a very small letter N being shown here. So I'm pointing that out in case that may make sense to you in your own experiences this week. That is related to some form of documents, as well as things happening quickly. There's momentum with this, and stability. So whatever that individual situation is referring to, it is very stable. It is a very good scenario, I would say. While very small, this individual grouping has an angel in it. So I'm going to zoom in, so hopefully you can see it, as well as action, momentum, and you can also see the number 4, which is part of the angel in this grouping here. As I mentioned in a previous video, 4 for me is one of the numbers that represents angels. Again, I am by no means claim to be an angel expert. I am not, nor a numerologist, nor an astrologer. However, that's one meaning that the number 4 has for me. So one way that you can word this is that there is angelic help surrounding the situation. You may also feel like asking for additional angelic help. However, for me, this is really more indicating that the angels are around. They are assisting with the situation. This event or situation here, this form of a layout, is not one that I often see. However, it's kind of fun when I do because it means that there is another event or situation, like I mentioned before, that is fairly short term. So in terms of timing, I would say this is maybe concluded by Tuesday or Wednesday. You may also see that there are a few lines of tea leaves connecting this event or situation down to this ring around the sides of the cup. So in other words, there may be 2 scenarios, aspects, parts, somehow that connect this range of events with this range of events happening here. This event or situation begins with a Cancerian connection. Messages, news, and information involving someone who is incredibly wise, very much a positive authority figure, a leader of some kind. At this point in the event or situation, there is a great deal of happiness. However, that can also be referencing a divine number. The number 7 may also have a specific meaning to you as well, who is highly respected and almost magical. This individual has a letter P in their name, which you can see here. This involves creative projects. We're really feeling good. Things are going very well. We also have the number 7 in here as well. I'm not very well versed in numerology and never claimed to be. Unconventional stability, so in other words, something that is stable but yet unique. Documents and or education. So in other words, something that is being signed. So this would be either education related or something to the effect of contracts, paperwork, things of that nature. We just may feel very good when the week starts. We just may feel a little bit cheeky, feeling very self-empowered, just feeling good. There may be someone, in particular a woman, and there are messages, news, and information arriving from or with, somehow connected with that individual, as well as abundance, swiftness of movement, and something happening quickly. Multiple documents are being presented in here, as well as momentum. This individual grouping here most certainly is referencing a partnership, especially a partnership that appears or forms as a result of a current partnership. This individual grouping, and please note that each individual grouping here is part of this overall scenario, so it's like a tapestry. This individual grouping here specifically is relating to some kind of conclusion. There are conclusions or finalizations surrounding all of this. Of course, whenever there are conclusions, there are new beginnings or new opportunities. However, this is certainly working with other people, as well as the letter Y. I'm saying that in case it makes sense to you at some point this week. There also may be a person, place, or thing with the letter J that's involved. There is a formation of the letter J here, although it is a little stylized and maybe not entirely clear, it is present. Being completely honest, I was just pointing at this grouping, and as I did, my hand moved, and I moved the leaves back. Just be aware that yes, this individual grouping here has changed in appearance, and that is the reason why. Now, having said that of interest, we can take a quick look and see what images are now formed. That includes specifically a tree. So I would say that everything that I have just said is completely accurate, and also the qualities opportunities of abundance and prosperity as well. Now, if you look back a moment ago, you can see that there was also the shape of a dog present as unconditional love, support, loyalty, and commitment, harmony, protection, companionship, protection. All of those qualities are also present in this individual grouping as well. New partnerships and new beginnings of some kind. I say that because there is an outline of a little bunny right here. Now, depending on how you look at it, you can also see the outline of a mouse. So, which is why I said maybe the ability to be quiet when needed, the ability to be fast. However, whenever I see bunnies or rabbits of any kind, I always say that there's also intense divine protection, love, support, commitment, loyalty, creativity, new projects, new creative pursuits. Almost like a knight in shining armor. We are very much protected. As well as we have divine help, which I believe we always do anyway. There is likely a person, place, or thing with the letter Z or Z in the name, which you can see right here. Small, but present. We are only at the very top of this event or situation, and already I keep seeing references to reassurance, communication, abundance, documents or paperwork of some kind, specifically one other individual, speed, action, momentum, and communication. Partnerships are being indicated. We may find that there may be some communication between either ourselves, or we may find that there may be some communication between, close communication between ourselves and others. Someone who is an authority figure and someone who is underneath that authority figure, where we're just not too happy about it. And I have no idea what this is regarding. I can only say what I see. I'm just saying that just so that we are all aware of that, which we can see here. It's not a happy face, I would say. There's one eye here, and a downturned mouth, and this eye is sort of like almost like an emoji, like a winking downturned face. So not too happy regarding whatever this scenario is referencing. I would say that there's thoughts, words, discussions, conversations, communications of some kind, deliberations, something along those lines. Having said that, however, it does lead, like I just mentioned a moment ago, there are two new opportunities that are part of this scenario. It does result in creativity, a new beginning, as well as the need, skill, and or ability of being quick. Any short-term discontentment that we may feel in this scenario actually results in, like I said, really good opportunities, new creative projects, new pursuits, new creative ideas, as well as happiness. So it results in a very positive scenario. Now, we are also in for a surprise: unconditional love, support, loyalty, and commitment, which protection, guardianship, and companionship. Also, very interesting that there was a dog up here that accidentally moved, and we have a much larger dog's face here as well. So I'd say extra validation. So whatever that scenario is referencing here, it increases in strength. A person with the letter E is involved. Partnerships are absolutely a theme throughout this week. The same is true for this ring of events surrounding the cup as well. There are multiple partnerships being shown. There may be some temporary setbacks, however, they are temporary and they do result again in very good things, just as was shown earlier in the cup. Conclusions, new beginnings, prosperity, especially financially, materially, calmness, reassurance, happiness, new beginnings, again, communication closely between us and someone else, abundance and prosperity, especially financially, I would say. That seems to be later in this week, maybe on Thursday or Friday. Harmoniousness, definitely learning. Again, I know I've mentioned this a few times before in previous weeks, and I know that September is usually when we begin taking courses. However, I keep seeing references in here to education. Some of us may even have a love interest, and I say that because if you look here, there is a formation and outline of a girl, the ponytail here, she's wearing a dress, as well as a boy, two eyes and a happy face. That's a boy there with the formation of the body. So yeah, some of us may have a little bit of romance budding later this week. And it's definitely a new opportunity. It's a new beginning. There is stability surrounding this, generally speaking, of course. Lots of stability in this entire situation. If this makes any sense to you later on after this week, please leave a comment in the comment section below. Or of course, you're most welcome to email me as well if you so choose. Stability as well as possibly an angel reference. You can see the number 4 here. We have a runner. We have someone who is just running ahead. You can see right here, completely uninhibited. Another way that you can interpret this is that there's someone with the letter T in their name who is completely uninhibited, going for exactly what they want to. Leap of faith, nothing holding them back, ready for a new start, going for what they want, ready to achieve success. And yes, this is related to this main event or situation that we looked at before. However, it is separate as well, which you can see here. In regards to this individual, there are multiple partnerships, working with other people, close communication, person, place, or thing with the letter F in their name. You can see here. New opportunities, thinking of new ideas, partnerships, stability. The letter E. There's also another letter F here, a larger F, and there's the E there. Overall, this does look good and exciting. There are new opportunities, learning, wisdom, partnerships, abundance and prosperity, lots of documents. And now we're looking into the base. Overall, somewhat similar to last week, we're looking into the weekend and into next week. There are very clearly defined images. So in other words, the clearly defined images are representing the fact that we are going to know where we stand with some things. Some things will be clear. However, some things won't be clear, and it seems to be a 50-50 divide between the two. So looking at some details, there is actually quite a bit that we can see. So in addition to some surprises that we don't know what is happening, we can see some details. These include a significant partnership, which includes abundance, likely of a non-financial nature. This may include a person, place, or thing with the letter M involved, as well as communication between ourselves and someone else. This will likely be a successful partnership, and likely involves a young female with either a family connection or someone who is respected. There also may be the letter E involved. The number 7 is present again, possibly the number 71. This likely involves property, a high-rise specifically, and may involve the city of New York. And someone who is very wise, almost magical, and really helps us to see things better or see things differently. They are also very learned. May involve education of some kind. Angelic help is also being indicated specifically regarding possible additions to the family. And I would say again, like the partnership, this is more about non-financial abundance or non-financial in some aspect. There are references in here regarding action, momentum, where we're essentially just feeling very good and full of life. Nothing is standing in our way. We're not feeling inhibited. Partnerships, specifically with many other people. Unconditional love, support, loyalty, commitment as well. There is also a feeling of independence. There may also be some minor disappointments or temporary setbacks. However, generally overall, we are happier than we are upset. And to conclude, multiple partnerships involving the number 3. For me, that also can represent a collaboration. These partnerships are currently being formed, which makes sense because it is in the base and involves 2 people specifically, 1 an authority figure, and the letters J and T. There are new opportunities, new beginnings, a person, place, or thing involved with that, the letter S, and many helpful people. So thank you so much once again for watching. I do appreciate it, and I do hope that you enjoyed this week's tea leaf reading. I am aware that I am posting this on Saturday of this week, so again, I do apologize. I'm working very hard to coordinate my schedule to make sure that these are posted on Monday. I hope that you had an amazing week, a great weekend, and that you have an even better week ahead. Take care and talk to you soon. Bye-bye.